皆さん、こんにちは. So today I'm going to introduce another one of our new forms from chapter 21. This is called the causative form. So before we start talking about how to make sentences with the causative form, let's first just kind of introduce how we can construct it. So the causative form is kind of similar to the passive form that we talked about in the last chapter. So one of the things that we're going to want to do is take, with U verbs, we'll take the U ending that we have and change it to an A sound. So iku, ika, yobu, yoba, and so forth. And then we're going to add seru. So very similar to what we did with passive, but instead of adding beru, we're adding seru. So for example, iku will change to ikaseru, yobu, yobaseru, yomu, yomaseru, kau, kawaseru. Remember, the ones that end in u, when we change to an a sound, instead of changing just to a, we change to wa. So kau becomes kawaseru. Hanasu, hanasaseru. So this one, we have to make sure that we keep the sa. Shinu, shinaseru. Toru, toraseru. So ikaseru, yobaseru, yomaseru, kawaseru, hanasaseru, shinaseru, toraseru. We change the last sound to an a and add seru. For do verbs, it's pretty simple. All we have to do is drop the do and add saseru. So taberu, tabesaseru, miru, misaseru. Very straightforward. For irregular verbs, suru will change to saseru, and kuru will change to causaseru. So all of these causatives, just like we had with the passives before, all of our causatives conjugate in the same way as do verbs. So saseru is a do verb, so we can say, for example, in ta form, or in mas form, sasemasu. In ta form, saseta. In te form, sasete. In nai form, sasenai. The same way we would with any other do verb. Okay, so what do we actually use these causative verbs for? Let's take a look. So, お母さんですね。お母さんは子供に歯を磨かせます。歯を磨かせます。お母さんは子供に部屋を掃除させます。掃除させます。So, causative sentences, we have director wa, actor ni, causative verb o sasemasu. So, a causative verb, somebody, usually somebody of like a higher status, like makes somebody do something or causes somebody to do something. So, the mother makes the child brush her teeth. The mother makes the child clean her room. お母さんは, so the director は, 子供に, the actor に, 磨かせます。お母さんは子供に掃除させます。So the person who makes someone do something is marked with the wa, and the person who does it is marked with ni. So for example, so we have the director は actor に causative verb ですね。So the reason we call this the causative is because, like, very literally speaking, this is a case where the director causes a situation in which the actor does something. So the question is, does it mean to make someone do something or to let someone do something? Well, we have two ways to know. One is by the context, and the other is by like endings that we have that can give a little bit more nuance. So we're going to talk about those endings a little bit in the next video, but first let me introduce like a situation. So maybe your mom makes you hate vegetables. You hate vegetables. She makes you eat them and you're miserable about it. Or you really like vegetables and your mom lets you have lots of extra leftover vegetables, I guess. These can both be 母は子供に野菜を食べさせました. So the mother caused the child to eat vegetables. Whether she made them do it or let them do it, we will know by the context. But as we'll talk about in the next video, there are also some helping verbs that we can use to make it really clear. Okay, so that gives you some idea on how to form causative verbs and how to put them in sentences. So let's try and use that information to answer some of the following questions.